Alright guys, so we are here picking up my 15 cubic yard. This was a roofing job, and we'll see here in just a second what it ended up looking like. I don't know if it was for the house as well, but it's at least for the double garage here. I think they did the full garage up there. Let's see what's inside. Okay, yeah, this is probably just simply the garage. Really small job, evidently. So probably, I would imagine even less than 2 tons worth of shingles, so really not that big of a deal. I'm gonna go ahead and get this hooked up real quick and then be back with you. All right, so I wasn't able to record a whole lot more when I was getting done hooking up the dumpster, the dump trailer. The homeowner came out and was wondering why I was leaving with the dump trailer, and so I just let her know, hey, I was told by the roofer to come over and grab it, and she said, well, they're not done. I'm like, well, whatever's left, I guess they're planning on removing it by hand. They didn't want to pay for another day or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe they already did get stuff done, but she didn't, she wasn't there when it was done, or whatever the case may be. She wasn't too thrilled about it, but I just tried to smooth things over with her and just say, hey, these guys that I've worked with a number of times now, they do good work. Every homeowner I've talked to, they're happy. I'm sure they'll take care of you and get you squared away, whatever's going on. I don't know, and we'll see. But anyways, a lot of these customers working with this roofer and a few other roofers that I've been able to work with, generally they're like, well, that was fast. They'll say, it's been roughly well, it'll have been about a day or two. And normally, depending on the house, depending on the square footage of the house, how many square it is, it's literally done within a day or so. At least the tear off. They're probably mostly done on that job. For that garage, that was almost complete. It looked like there was just a little bit left they had to do. It was almost completely finished with the new roof on there. So they'll be done very soon. I'm assuming, at least on the garage. And she said there was a little bit that needed to be done on the actual house. So I don't know. I do know that I'm getting a lot better at kind of sizing up these loads when it actually comes to how much shingles are in the dump trailer. If it's a fourth of the way filled up, it might be between 1 and 2, depending. Obviously, if it rained or something, if it's even heavier, potentially, I guess. But for about a full load, it ranges between 4 and 5 tons for this 15 cubic yard. For the 17, it could be a little bit more. That's only happened once or twice. I really don't want to do that. But what that turns into, as far as how many squares of shingles, it's about 40 square in my 15 cubic yard that I can actually hold. I've had, to my knowledge, it's been roughly about 40 square in my dump trailer that was right at about 5 tons. And so that's kind of the max. Well, the actual trailer, it says just a hair under 10,000 pounds payload. So you really don't want to be going over that, certainly by the manufacturer's standard there, but right in there, in between 4 and 5 is kind of the sweet spot, and so that's usually kind of benchmark there. So taking that, if 40 is the max, then 20 is half, and what we've got right there is probably 10, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on the type of shingle it is. I don't know all the nuances of shingles, and it'd probably be helpful to learn more about that, to be able to give more information and to give better estimates, or have a better working idea in my own mind of what things look like. But that's currently what we're doing here, picking this up. I know I honestly haven't had a whole lot of videos like this more recently. I've been playing catch up with a lot of different things, with my dumpster rental business, with RV transport, maintenance and things on the truck, and just overall just a lot of things. I've been sick this last week. It's just been kind of crazy for me. Feels like I need more than 24 hours in a day. 30 might do it, but do I have the energy to survive 30 is then the question. But overall, I've kind of talked recently about winter time, and my last video that I made talking about the winter season and what that's kind of brought for my business. Now, December was pretty decent. January was even better, and then February was just kind of like, well, okay, we're here. It was probably at about 50-60% the level of where I'm wanting to be at, or the kind of normal, the new normal that I'm kind of at now. So it's just kind of a learning experience, seeing these months stacked up on each other. Like, wow, you can go a couple months solid and then things just tank. Now, I think there's some pretty decent reasons why, and fair reasons why it has played out the way it has. In February, in Indiana at least, we had 5 or 6 days, if not more, of it actually snowing outside. We had probably another, besides that, maybe 15 to 18 days of well below 32 degrees. So unless it was a major project that had to be done or something, there just not a whole lot of people were doing much at all. Unless it was a construction project, something of that nature, not a whole lot was going on, man. So I get that, I understand that, and of course, the amount of people calling me versus the overall market, I'm sure there was still plenty of people calling and getting stuff done, taken care of. But at least in my situation, it was a noticeable difference in the overall, where it was December, January, and then boom, February. Hello, we dropped off definitely enough to notice. So that was definitely interesting. Not thrilled about it, but it is what it is. And now, going forward, that was my first real February actually having customers. So pretty much ending the year, I really started getting dumpster rentals in March of last year. And so, however you want to look at it, I was in business longer, but I wasn't actually renting dumpsters out yet, because I was still just kind of learning and growing myself. But the end of February kind of sealed my 12-month, I don't know, it's not my fiscal year, but the actual amount of 12 months of actual consistent being in business, advertising, being out there, people even knowing I exist. definitely noticeable. Seeing, okay, here's my full 12 months. Where am I at? And now going forward, I can start to look back at my last year's March and see, okay, where am I at? Am I on track to keep pace with last March? Am I going to exceed it? What does this look like? So I'm kind of excited about that. Being able to start really looking at my numbers and seeing the actual growth. Being at 0 1 month and then going to 2 dumpster rentals, 6 dumpster rentals, 10 dumpster rentals. That's exciting. But being able to see, okay, last year, my first month really, in March, I don't know what my actual number is right now. I need to go look at it at home. But, if I had 8, to see I had, 12 or something in this month, man, that would be great to see that type of growth. And the thing is, in your area, in my area, we might have different levels of growth. We might have different scenarios, different situations. For me, I might have a whole lot of snow and ice and below freezing temps in February, or maybe it's in January. In February, they flip-flop. Those months flip-flop for the weather. It's going to look different in my area versus your area across the board. It's simply going to be different for everybody. But trying to get a baseline, I think it's a huge thing to see, okay, here's generally what it's going to look like. And obviously the more years that you're able to stack up on top of each other, the better off you're going to be able to see as far as being able to have some idea of what consistency would look like. On average, you're going to have this many dumpsters in this month. Maybe the first 2 weeks of the month are lower. Maybe the second 2 weeks are kind of higher. I remember one of my first jobs, I was working for Arby's. In high school, I had a buddy who was a shift manager, I believe, at Arby's, and he was like, hey man, if you want a job, let me know. And so I was like, yeah, actually, that'd be great. So besides football and wrestling, I think it was my junior and senior year, I would go and work at Arby's. Very, very part-time, very flexible with my hours, and we just kind of made it work. But I remember oftentimes during the lunch rush, during the dinner rush, obviously, I'd be working weekends as well. During those periods of time, I would hear from the manager, hey, we're expecting this many customers, or hey, we're expecting it to be this busy, so let's plan accordingly. And they would often put more fries down. They'd get more food from the frozen food from the back. They put more roast beef in the oven because it takes quite a while to cook the roast beef at Arby's. And there was preparation put in place. And I know we're talking about fast food, but for me to be able to take that mindset and to apply it to this dumpster business, okay, what does this month generally look like? And I know I'm just a small operation still, but for me to be able to say, okay, this is what it was last year, or maybe the last couple of years, when I get down the road, and I'm able to say, okay, here's what I'm expecting. Maybe is this a lower month? Do I need to advertise a little bit more to keep the numbers up, to really keep things rolling? In the past, how much money have I spent on advertising versus how many rentals I actually got? Does that then mean that I'm going to be wasting my money? If I'm spending X amount of dollars in advertising dollars, and it only produced, the last 3 years, let's say it only produced a smaller amount of rentals, whatever that is, man, it's a waste of money. It's not productive money. It's bad money. It's a bad investment for probably multiple reasons, probably always more than one reason why it might go in a certain direction or not. But that's a factor. So I definitely want to be applying these, year after year principle to be able to compare the data. I've mentioned it in other videos, being able to see my data across the board and to be able to compare. And the more data, the more profitable, the better off I'm going to be, you're going to be with your business. The more informed decisions that you're going to be able to make, rather than just kind of shooting in the dark, just guessing, just a good hopeful guess. So I'm pretty pumped about the future, first of all, but what this new season's going to bring, kind of sliding out of the winter season into the spring season. And you can already just kind of tell there's people getting just really kind of worked up, or whatever you want to call it. They're getting antsy. They're getting ready to do some projects around the house. They're pumped. They're fired up. And so I don't know, man. I'm pretty excited about it. I know this last month, I just looked at it, and I don't know if it's the last 28 days or if it's literally February as far as last month goes, but my Google My Business listing, I remember I was getting, of course, when you start out, you're getting no calls, you're getting no website views, nothing at all. But I've been looking at it, and I'm now getting, after a year, whether I'm advertising or not, directing people on Facebook or other avenues to my website, I'm getting well over 1,000 website clicks, website views. And as far as last month goes, and maybe this is a horrible ratio, I don't know, I'm getting, last month I got 18 phone calls from Google My Business. Now, maybe people are calling me, they click on to my website directly, they don't see my Google My Business profile, and they go to my website directly, and then they call me from that, so that's not going to show up from the Google My Listing analytics. But getting 18 calls in a month, plus all those other views. I've had multiple people book February, obviously not so much like I've been talking about, but a growing percentage of my customers, as things continue to grow, are people who went directly to my website, navigated it to exactly what they wanted for their dumpster rental, paid for the actual dumpster rental, it scheduled it, and then I didn't have to say anything to them. I didn't have to talk to them on the phone, call them, really anything at all. And it's just really streamlined, and it's really being more and more efficient. Now, I'm still talking to them at the drop-off location if possible. I'll call them or I'll text them on the way there, dropping off and picking up if needed. But essentially, I'm able to really be able to streamline things, and I'm pretty pumped about that. Anyways, just wanted to share this video with you, kind of an update video, but things are rolling, things are getting out of the slump as far as February is concerned, and I'm here for it. I'm excited, really anticipating trying to be as prepared as possible for the summer, spring season, whatever you want to say. I think it's going to go bananas as much as possible. I don't think that's wishful thinking. If last year, without a website, with a horrible to decent payment processing system in place, and it being a little bit harder for people to actually use me, putting more barriers in place for them to have to jump over to be able to get to use me, from that to this year with the website and everything, how it's streamlined, I'm in more places, I'm more visible everywhere. I'm just like, man, I think things are going to be, at the very least, on the next level. Very grateful for that. I'm going to get off here. Hopefully you have a great day today. Stay safe, guys, and we'll catch you later.